Hello and welcome to the Pop Pod. It is New Music Friday and we have new music from Conan Gray, Olivia Dean, Zara Larsson, and then some stuff we didn't cover last week, Wolf Alice, and also, what else didn't we cover? We didn't cover Amaarae as well. Yeah. So we've got plenty to get through and Jono is back. I didn't do it last week because honestly I couldn't fathom the idea of doing it without you. So I'm glad to see you again.
I'm so glad to be back before I abandon you again for 2 more weeks.
Exactly. Well, don't tell them that. They won't come back for next week's episode. I'm going to try get someone fun. Maybe even funner.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone's funner than me, so you'll have an easy job.
You were in the remote part of France. Well, you're not in a remote part, but you didn't have any access to internet last week, so you were off the grid.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, lucky you're back on the grid this week because it's all been happening. Taylor Swift, Ethel Cain and Lana are fighting. Basically anything I make a podcast about, something huge happens. So we've got to manifest something good today.
The Taylor app, and then suddenly 20 minutes after or whatever. It's actually crazy timing.
It was so weird. It was actually crazy. I mean, obviously I knew that something was brewing, but I didn't know that it was like going to happen then.
Yeah. The life of a pod girl, the life of a TikTok girl. Just predicting
the
everything.
Life of the pop pod.
Psychic Sam.
So we've got a few things to get through because we didn't do everything last week. And we also have one of the I think this is the first time, actually. We've got one of the bop or flop songs. We've got the artist talking about the song. I interviewed them last week, and you'll find out that during the podcast, or if you've read the description, you already know. But before we do that, make sure you're following or subscribe to this podcast so you can keep up with it and be there just before anything major happens now that we basically break every huge story on the Pop Pod. You can also rate us 5 stars if you like our manifestation and join the Discord where we chat about everything pop music. All that's in the description. But let's get into bop or flop. The first song is one from last week, Wolf Alice's White Horses.
Music and love have magnetic properties. Wrote a scholar from the island that they kept from me. I don't need to solve my unknown identity.
White Horses off their album, The Clearing. The Clearing is out next week, I believe. And this song follows on from The Sofa, which we both absolutely loved. Mm-hmm. This one's quite a different vibe than The Sofa. One of the few times that there's a male voice like in lead on a Wolf Alice song, which I know might be a little bit of a detractor for you, but I think there's something like weird about this. There's something very 70s about it. There's something a bit like, I don't know, almost kitsch about it. And I really like that it's quite a switch up from the other two. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree. It's really making the album take shape. I think I like the call and response element, the Wolf and the Alice of it. I like hearing Wolf's voice. And Alice, but it feels like a song I've heard before in a good way. Like you said, it's 70s. It feels like a classic song, and I'm buzzing for this album. I honestly can't wait.
Yeah, I am so excited for it. I feel like when I saw them live, they played one new song, but I'm also not super familiar with their first album, so it could have been off that album. But whatever it was amazing. So maybe I'll go back, listen to the first album and check that whether or not it was on there. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I think it's going to be an amazing one. Somebody else who we've been singing the praises of forever, not forever, you forever, me for the past couple months, is Olivia Dean. She has an album out in September, The Art of Loving, and Man I Need is the 3rd single from it. You can take this as the Olivia Stant, the Dean head in there. Yeah, on the vid chat.
I mean, what can I say? It's 3 from 3. It's delicious song. I feel like when
I
I
love
heard it,
delicious as a
I've
description.
got like a creaky, my hips want to shake and the creaks start cracking my fucking old bones. And I feel like a dorky dad, like I just want to sway and click my fingers.
There's something
And
really dorky about it, which I love.
yeah, I feel like a 70-year-old being like, I can get down with these kids. This is like old school music that I loved growing up, but not in like a boring way. It's just gorgeous. The pockets of vocal she goes into on every song. It's just incredible. So it's
Yeah.
obviously a bop. She's the only woman I need, Olivia. It's a bop for me. What do you
It's
think?
getting that way for me too, to be honest, because this is like 3 knockouts in a row. This one's a slightly different vibe to the other ones, but it still like maintains that warmth. The thing that I'm getting the most with this song is like the Supremes. Like this feels very like Motown-y. It feels like it could soundtrack like every rom-com from the 2000s. Like every Kate Hudson movie beginning could have this song there, which I love. As soon as I hit play, I can see her performing like the wind machine, blowing, her doing her like little dance. I just love Olivia Dean at the moment. She could do no wrong in my book. This is like another 10 out of 10. It's just like
Same.
music that makes you feel so good without having to think about it, you know?
Yeah, totally. We need to go to a Dean concert so that we can
We do.
click our hips together on that concert. You know what I mean?
While our knees still have it in us.
Yeah.
The next one is Conan Gray's Caramel. Conan Gray has released his 4th album called Wishbone. I am actually right in the middle of reacting to this. I literally paused on track 6. But I did skip ahead to listen to this one for the Pop Pod because it is the new single. We have been at completely different ends on all the Conan Gray material so far. And I don't know if we're going to be at different ends again, but I love this. Like, I love the 90s kind of garage band sort of vibe to it. It's a slightly different vibe to what the other songs that we've gotten so far. And I just think like this alternative pop lane suits him extremely well. I think the 90s as a decade for reference is really perfect for his voice, that kind of like Cranberries cause, even Savage Garden vibe. Like I was hearing some Savage Garden in this, which I think is really cool. He's basically doing this for like all the Australians and British people who grew up like during the 90s and early 2000s, which he didn't. So I don't know where he sourced it from, but I love it. Has this changed your mind at all?
Conan Gray. I think this is a much better song for me, but mostly because of the second half. I think the second half really picks it up. I think the first half when I was listening, I was like, oh, is this going to be the same as the last one where I'm just not as sold on the chorus? But it does elevate in the second half of the song and makes me believe in it a lot more. I'm not going to be pressing replay on it all the time, but it's good. And it is good music. Like the other songs on this album were good too. I don't think they were terrible, but I just didn't love them. I think I got called out in a comment for not liking the last one. So maybe that's why I'm being nicer about it. But
yeah, but also like I did see that comment. And I don't think that's totally fair. Like, I think generally this kind of music is not really in your taste range, usually. Unless Chapel Roan's making it.
well, exactly. But I do think it's a good song. I think I just want more of that second half of it on other songs.
Okay, sure. I'm going bop with it. Like, pretty easy bop, but...
I'll bop it.
All right, the next one is Khalid's In Plain Sight. This is like a pretty significant single for Khalid because he was outed like, I don't know how long ago it was now, but he was pretty unfairly outed by an ex who was pissed off with him, clearly. But this feels like the first single where he's really stepped in like unashamedly. He's obviously using like male pronouns for his partner in this. But it's also a big pop song in that it's produced by Ilya and Savan Kotecha. So there's like big names on it. I don't know. It feels like kind of a re-arrival for, is re-arrival a word or a, what is it when you come back? Not a comeback, but like a
return. Return to all.
Returns. So exciting. Yeah, it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like a weight has been shed and there's like a lightness to this. I don't know that it's like totally a pop banger that I'm just like, oh my God. But there's definitely a spark to this song that I haven't felt perhaps with the previous Khalid releases, which I probably wouldn't even be able to like name a single track that he's released in the past like 2 years. And this one feels like maybe it will be a little bit more memorable for me.
Yeah, I think it's a light bulb, but it's not. I just wish there was a bit more variety in it. I don't know. Didn't stick with me for a long time, and I wasn't like, can't wait to go back to this and listen. But
at this point, like, I feel like monotony is almost his genre, you know? Like, he's really and I almost mean that as a compliment. Like, he's made very good music that just runs across the same line. And I feel like we're getting some slight like upticks in this one. Like the heartbeat is jumping slightly more, but his resting heart rate's still like 42.
I can't believe you trying to make it seem like monotony is like a positive thing. It's so monotonous. It's great.
I loved the album, very monotonous. The next one is Steve Lacy. It's a song called Nice Shoes.
If I had $1 for the friends I would fuck, I could buy a pair of really nice shoes. Life is but a stain, it's not a tattoo.
Apparently he has a new album on the way. I believe it's called Oh Yeah. Steve Lacy is kind of like a voice for Gen Z. He obviously blew up with like Bad Habits. And well, I think he blew up before that, but obviously that song was so huge for him. And now he's kind of following it up. And what I like about this one is that it's so different to anything that was on Gemini Rights. Like, it's the production in particular is totally like strange for him. I felt it's self-produced as most of his stuff is. And I don't know if it totally worked for me. Like, it didn't scratch an itch, but I did when I pressed play. I was like, oh, cool, this feels like something different. And that got me through till the end, even though I'm not really sure it's up my alley. But I like what he's doing, and I'm excited to like hear him explore it more.
Yeah, racy, lacy. Some of the lyrics a bit racy. I feel
the
like
lyrics were quite racy, weren't they?
Yeah. I agree. It's interesting and unique. The soulful bit was the best bit in my opinion, but
that was the most
enough.
him about it. Whereas the start was like the interesting part. I was really struggling to figure out what I was liking about it.
Same, and also the rest of the song wasn't strong enough to make the soulful. Like, he could have had, I guess, more of the soulful bit interjected between, and it might have changed my mind. But I think I just was like, I just want this as a song rather than the rest. But I understand the genre bending, and I think it can be done really well. But I don't know. It's a flop for me. I don't think I'll listen to it again.
I think it's a flop for me as well. But I don't necessarily. I feel like there's some people who are gonna love this. I just don't know if it totally works for me. But if this is the vibe he's exploring, I'm happy for him to explore it more. But to be honest, I wasn't a super big fan of his last album either. So maybe I'm just not a fan in general. Which could explain my...
Sorry, Stephen. I feel... What?
Stephen.
By the end, to be honest, he was singing Make It Stop, and I was like, yeah, I agree. Please do.
That is such a Simon Cowell comment. So like him to take a lyric that one of the contestants is singing and you like weaponize it against them. Well, you're
That's
going to
why
have
I'm
a
here.
field
I'm
day
here
when Ava Max releases Don't Click Play next week.
I'm here to judge. With no musical background. Same assignment.
Well, I also have no musical background. Have you seen this feud that's been going on at the moment between Justin Tranter and the Swiftologist, where
No.
Justin Tranter's basically been like, you don't need to go online and share your opinion on music, just be a fan. And the Swiftologist is like, well, actually, I'm trained in journalism and I've been doing this for 10 years,
Yeah.
so don't reduce what I'm doing to just being a fan. Which I
Also,
agree with, but
you can be a fan and be critical. I don't think he's critical for the sake of being annoying. I don't know. I feel like you can criticize
yeah,
your faves.
I
Obviously,
agree.
there's a
I think
line
it's
between just being mean.
yeah, which I think is a hard line to tread. But I appreciate
Yeah.
someone who has that much honesty, because I don't know if I can totally do that with everybody.
Yeah. Also, going against the Swifties is a big risk.
It is a
It's not
huge risk.
That's on the street. Yeah.
It's taken me a year to get them back on board after saying I was lukewarm about the anthology. Let's move on to the next one. I'm interested to see what you say about this. Crush, Zara Larsson.
It ain't heartbreak, but it still hurts enough. Oh, baby, I'm crushed. It won't never be us. That's why they call it a crush.
We've been up and down on her previous stuff from this album, but Midnight Sun has been I guess as big a success as she could have hoped for. And really has soundtracked the summer for some people. I can't remember what your thoughts were initially on Midnight Sun, but where are you now?
I
with
think
it?
I was more lukewarm, which was completely incorrect because I love it now. It has grown and grown, and seeing her perform it live and seeing her do the solstice.
Did you
live
see it
performance-
live?
Oh, just online.
Oh, online. So 2020 of you.
It's like me seeing Reddit articles because I saw TikTok. Midnight Sun's a smash. The first single was one of the worst songs. Do you remember? I thought it was comedic. I thought this song was
Yeah.
a joke.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that Midnight Sun was a smash for her because she deserves it. This song just pisses me off because
Really?
honestly, 90% of it is a smash. And
Yeah.
then she just puts in, her or whoever puts in the most tacky, cringe little production bits. It feels like a DJ scratching all the bow kind of sound bites people add into songs. And I'm like, the melody and the singing is so good. Why does it it honestly?
Wait, are you talking about the
Yeah, and there's something else as well in the chorus. It just really fucking annoys me because she's so good and this song could be so good. I just want her to work with Circuit and get someone who says, no, cut that out. We're just going with really good, smart. It's just,
Well, interestingly, she MNEK is the executive producer on the album, but he's not a producer on this, and maybe he was on Midnight Sun. But
yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was, yeah, because he smashes it. But I totally disagree with you on this. I think it's an absolute smash. I think that the melody, as you said, is so good. Her vocals are so good. I think she's in exactly the right, sonic pocket right now. And it makes me go back and be like, what I said about the first song, which I can't even remember, Pretty Ugly or something. What I said about that being an interesting direction, I totally take back, because that one can go in comparison to that Midnight Sun and this, because this is totally where she needs to be. It reflects the color palette that she's using for the album, the whole aesthetic. I think that the weird sound effects are good for the melody. I think that they extend that chorus melody and sweeten it for me.
No.
And yeah, I of all the songs in it this week, this is the one I've listened to the most by far.
I really just want someone to make the song and cut out the two annoying sounds because it would honestly be a smash if so. Can Emanike do a remix of it just
Maybe
without
he
that?
will. Maybe he will.
Yeah.
But maybe it just
does
needs
sound
more
like-
time, you know. Zara's music is for the intellects, I think, and you didn't quite get Midnight Sun at first, but maybe
Well,
it'll-
that is true. And I'm not an intellect. But I feel it's just yeah. It does
I
sound like
understand.
Little Mix,
There's
but
something
it's just
very mid 2010s about the production.
yeah, it's just dated, annoying sounds. I'm like, edit, take something off, and just let the melody do the talking, and I want that sweet melody, you know?
Okay, would love that. Okay, I need to go back and listen again with that feedback in mind and see exactly what you mean.
I'll tell you exactly what it is, and we can cut it in here so people can judge whether that bit should be cut from the song or not.
Okay, all right. Let us know in the comments if you think that this bit should be cut from the song. I hope this doesn't ruin it for me because I loved this song.
I don't think
I'm
it
already
will.
speaking in past tense. I've already let it go.
I love this song too in the band. Anyway.
Okay, the next song we have is by Audrey Hobert, who we've been covering on the podcast quite a bit. And actually, we have her on the podcast today. Well, we don't actually. Like, I spoke to her last week and I'm going to cut it in here. So you won't get to see her, unfortunately. But she did talk to me about her new single, Thirst Trap, which is off her album, Who's the Clown, which is out today as well.
Stay up and I pace around the room. Wake up and I'm thinking about you. Can't read or write or do what I like to do. I spend my days 420 plays just thinking what's he gonna do.
Tell me about Thirst Trap because that's one that stands out to me immediately. Is it a sax solo at the end? That's quite a moment. And it feels like one of the most boisterous tracks on the album. Like, what's the beginning of that look like?
I mean, so I wrote Thirst Trap at home on the guitar. Last summer, I had a huge crush on this guy, and I was finding that, like, I felt like I was able to distill this feeling I've had finally as an adult, like my whole life, which is to me I think that I know a lot of people who kind of, in order to feel alive, they like to have a crush or like an object of their affection, just someone to wish for, pine over, and then eventually get. And I am the opposite, where I think that like a crush makes me feel boring a lot of the time, because instead of thinking about like all of the things I naturally think about during a day, I'm thinking about like one dude. And like I just felt frustrated last summer liking this guy. I was in this like 2-week period where I didn't particularly have much to do, so I would like tan on the roof, which is something I never found myself doing before. And like I would like, you know, try and see myself in every reflective surface possible. I just felt like self-involved and boring. And so I wrote that one at home. I wrote up until the bridge and then was still so consumed by this crush that I had to put the song down. And then once I had gotten over him and realized it wasn't going to happen, was when I was able to like pick it back up. And I think it actually wrapped up the song in a nice way, the perspective that I got, because I was able to like that line, I once read that some people's beauty can't be captured and he'll be sorry, happy ever after. I was like, I don't think I could have written that a few months ago when I was still in the throes of like loving this man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually so interesting to me because I've just been like listening this week to Chapel Roan talk about like the Subway, her new one, and how she wasn't
it's so
able
good.
to. It's amazing, incredible.
It's so
but
good.
like the way that she was talking about how she couldn't possibly finish it while she was still like in the throes of this heartache is super interesting to me, because I feel like some songwriters really just like tunnel through that and they'll just like go full throttle through that emotion. But it's interesting to hear you say that you find perspective helpful in these scenarios.
Yeah, and I think it's also trusting, like, I often sometimes, if I'm writing a song, I'll just want the full version to exist so badly that maybe I do just finish it. I can't recall like a particular time, but sometimes it's actually just too painful. Like, I don't even want to write the song anymore. I don't care if the full version doesn't exist. And then, but like that was one that I played for Ricky when I had written most of it. And he was like, that's my favorite thing you've ever brought into me. And still I was like, nah, I'll finish it later, you know?
You were like, guess I'm going to have to get over this.
Yeah, exactly.
Audrey worked with Gracie Abrams on her second album. You know what's crazy? The second Gracie Abrams album was the first music that she ever wrote professionally, which is just fucking crazy.
How'd she get that gig?
She was best friends with Gracie at school. And then she was like, oh, okay, this is working. Maybe I could do my own solo thing as well. I'm like, imagine just falling into it like that. It's crazy. Anyway, I have really enjoyed what Audrey's been doing because I think there's something like clumsy and really just like word vomit about the music that she's been releasing, and Thirst Trap is no different. And to me, it gets even more playful because it's got that like sax solo at the end, which I thought was really fun. I don't know, this is just like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. And I say that knowing that like she does obviously get quite vulnerable with the lyrics, but there's I don't know, just a playfulness to the way she approaches making music and an ease, which I understand now, given that like her run over the past year and a half has just been, she's made it sound so easy. So yeah, I think Thirst Trap's a bop.
Yeah. It would be really funny if you were just like, we interviewed her, and then you're like, this is one of the worst songs I've ever
This
heard.
is terrible. And in the interview, I'm like, I love this. I love everything you're doing. Then just trash her.
Alex Warren was right. I think the song's really good. I like it. I totally agree about it's a bit silly. I love the self-deprecation in it. I think her voice sounds good. I do think the production could be a bit punchier. Kind of like, it reminds me of a Carly Rae Jepsen song, and for me, I want that more punchier production, so it's a bit stickier. But also, that's just kind of being pedantic. It's a good song, and I think
Pedantic.
Pedantic.
I'm trying to beat you at your own game today.
You're doing a better job. I'm so stressed about packing to Japan that
It's because you're channeling Japanese, so English is kind of failing you today.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's good. What else did I say about it? That's it. I love the sax at the end. It sounds...
The sax at the end is great. Bring back a sax at the end of pop songs. Edge of Glory, Last Friday Night. So good.
When has a sax solo ever gone wrong in pop music?
Never.
Probably
like
quite a few
literally
times.
never.
Like,
Actually,
bring it back for every song.
Probably give several examples. But in my mind right now, best instrument ever made. There is not a sax solo in the next song, but maybe it could have lifted it. This
What
is
if
Love
Beyonce and Gaga's Telephone Part 2 is saxophone?
just sax the whole way through.
Yeah. and they
Only
don't sing.
sax. Like a Careless Whisper kind of vibe.
They don't sing, and it's just, they just are like, yeah, this is our song.
Die with a sax. Wait, they're actually playing the saxophone?
Play that sax.
I wouldn't put it past Gaga to do an entirely instrumental sax album.
Not at all. It's just like Beyonce's hair in the end of the sax and Gaga's playing it. It's like a lesson, and then they're just like, that was Telephone Part 2 called Saxophone.
The next song is Maroon 5's Love Is Like off their new album, which fails me, but it's called something. And Lil Wayne is featured on it.
Love is like drugs, and I had suitcases full of it. Never thought the day would come when I would burn through it all. Give you a call, and beg for some more.
This was an album that Maroon 5 have kind of promoted as making it in-house again, like going back to writing just with the band, a la reheating songs about Jane, Nachos, and I have heard 3 songs of this album so far, and that is not the vibe I'm getting whatsoever. This is like fucking terrible, to be honest. It's so bad. It feels like a Hilltop Hood song from like the early 2000s, which is fine for the Hilltop Hoods, but like Maroon 5's vibe, like I just don't know if Maroon 5 know who they are as a band at all. They have no identity whatsoever. Cue you telling me that you're actually obsessed with this song.
Bop of the week. No, this is an absolute flop. Why is Lil Wayne on it? At one point, were they like, you know what
Why?
the song needs? Lil fucking Wayne. No. Get him off it. Actually, just sack the whole song off into the bin. I listened to it twice because the first time I was like, am I being really harsh? And
you're
the second
brave.
time I listened, I was like, this is worse than what I remembered.
It is the title track, actually, of their album, Love Is Like, which I have no interest in listening to.
No, but you need to do a live reaction to it.
Oh, there is no. I don't think I could sit through. I don't think I could physically sit through it. Like I was like, it couldn't get worse than them just making like generic pop bangers, and somehow they've made it worse by
I
trying
like
to be
some of
like
their generic
vulnerable.
pop bangers, but stick with that. Make
Some of them are
just-
actually real bops. Like the Scissor one is great, really good.
And what's the
um,
one? Sugar? I love Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar. Yeah, that's good. So go back to that. We don't need this like vulnerability. And then you're going to get vulnerable about like your relationship and then be like, you know who else would really understand this perspective? Lil Wayne. Like, so bizarre. And the
The
other
lyrics are
feature on the
awfully
album is
terrible.
Sexy Red. Like, it just could not get stranger.
They just did Sexy Red because they were like, Maroon, Red, let's call her.
Well, it had to happen eventually. This is my flop of the week, if that's a thing.
Same.
The next one is Amare. She's released her new album, Black Star. Fineshyt is the single that they're going from.
She's my fine shit. I love her, then I don't. She's always on the phone. I gave her what she want. My fine shit. She can't be out alone. I'm buying all the clothes. It's whatever she wants. She's my fine shit.
We've listened to a few on here. Maybe we've done them all. Maybe we did SMO and Girly Pop. Fineshyt is like a slightly different vibe to them, but definitely still in the club. And this is such a fucking club banger album. Like, if you thought Brat was explicit with the drug use thing, listen to the song on this that just goes ketamine, coke, and Molly.
Ketamine, Coke, and Molly. I actually burst out laughing. I was like, how
So
iconic.
good. And all weekend it was just circling my head. I was running and I was just like, ketamine, coke, and Molly. It is so in the club. Like, she doesn't leave for a second. And this song as well is in the club, but in a much less explicit way than that song. I think the melody running through this is totally intoxicating. Her voice just gives you like this high already before even the ketamine, coke, and Molly. And it's so good. Like, I love this album. I think it's so much fun. And I love that she went there. She's getting like a lot of critique because of how different it is to the last one, Fountain Baby. But some people have loved it, including Pitchfork, who gave it an 8.8. Where are you sitting on this song?
Were people critiquing it because they think it's worse than the previous work?
Yeah, I think they think it's quite jarring, which is true. It is jarring, but I love that.
But it's done so well.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect example of how you can experiment and put variety in a song, but it still has a lot of repetition. She makes the balance of classic pop, like repetition, and some of the productions more dated, with the fresh sounds and like fresh sounds in her voice and the way she distorts it, or it's truncated in points. I don't see how you couldn't like this song. Well, I mean, I guess people with bad taste, but it's.
I mean, I'm not going to play it to anyone in my family, I don't think, but.
Genevieve Murphy would love it.
Yeah, this is such a banger, such a bop. This was probably my bop of last week. Actually, I might save that decision until the end, but this is like a 10 out of 10 record, I think. Really good.
Yeah.
If you liked Brat and you want to just turn the intensity like a little higher, Black Star's where you're going to find it.
The album is incredible.
So good. Okay, I'm glad you feel that way because I've seen such mixed reviews of it.
Really?
Even she
Okay.
was like, one of the songs maybe worked a little better live than it did on the album, in hindsight. I'm like, not you reviewing your own album.
It's like Pitchfork, take it down. Pitchfork, take it down to an 8.2 because of that one song.
Yeah, instead of her halseying it and being like blowing up the basement they're in, she's like, I thank you for the praise, but it's wrong. Lower it.
It's not deserved.
The final song is from Genevieve's Chrysalis. We've been talking about Genevieve quite a bit with each release, and she released the album last week alongside Black Star. Hvn High is the song that she's cherry picked from it.
In the night we do our thing. On the level we keep going up. We're going up. Baby, pull up in that thing. I just love the way you lift me up.
This is what I mean when I say monotonous as a as a compliment, because I do think there is something like almost monotonous about her sound, like very sort of one note, but it's in the best kind of like vibey way. But this slightly plays with it a bit and brings a disco flair to it. And I think this chorus is just absolute heaven, as she says, like just like honey dripping. It is so good. Like it gives me the same kind of feelings that an Olivia Dean song gives me, but by using a totally different method. I love this so much. Big bop for me.
Big bop. I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as you do, but I feel it's giving, when you put your hand on like cool marble and you just, I don't know, your hand slips through.
Just what? Stroke it.
Yeah, you know, like a big kitchen island.
When I just stand at the kitchen
marble.
bench and just
And you're
stroke it.
leaning on it, and you're just like, this is like me stimming. Yeah, just leaning against it. It just slips and slides, and it feels cool and a nice texture to it. That's what
Yeah.
this song is giving for me.
I feel like give it a couple more plays and I feel like you're going to fall in love with it. Because I
Yeah,
feel like
I
on like the
definitely like.
fourth play it clicked for me and I was like, oh shit.
Just clicked like my hips. I think I haven't listened to the album yet, so that might also change my mind to make me like it even more.
Yeah, it does hit at quite a good point. Like it's in the middle and like this feels like a vibe shift into something more disco-y, which really works for me. That is it for Bop or Flop this week. If you had to choose your absolute bop of these 10 songs, who would you go with? I feel like it's pretty obvious for you now.
Yeah, it's Olivia Dean.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I can't
think
wait to listen to it more.
Yeah, me too, actually. I mean, that's up there for me. That's definitely towards the top. But Zara is really pulling her weight, and Amare and Genevieve as well. There's so many good ones in it this week, actually.
They're all
I think
good,
the ones
except
that
Maroon
I think
5.
Maroon 5 just let it down. I think this is their last chance on this podcast. Like, this is it. I'm done. They're being banned. They're
never
the
say
first
never.
act to be banned from the pop pod. I feel like you're breaking up now. Maroon 5 have interrupted our stream. They're trying to bring this to an end. Okay, we've literally lost Jono for the end of the podcast. The live stream has disconnected. But thank you so much for joining us. As always, you can see our other favorite songs of the week on Pop Sam Cam's New Music Friday. Hit us up on the Discord or via email as well if you've got any opinions on these songs and want us to share them on the Pop Pod. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Don't forget to stream my Taylor Swift album ranking and also the Ethel Cain deep dive that I did yesterday. Plenty in the feed this week. Thank you so much for all your love and attention. Always. See you next time.